So I failed my very first Epic certification exam. I got my very first Epic certification back in September 2014 in Willow Impatient, which is the hardest Epic application based on pass-fail rates. I believe it's like in the 50s and 60% passing rate. I did all homeworks, I did the projects, the quizzes, the assignments, all those kind of things, and I studied for about a month to pass that exam. And since then, I've accumulated many different certifications and badges over the years, and I'll kind of list them over here to the right and to the left. But some of the ones I've done: Bugsy Infection Control, Willow Impatient Graduate, Clinical Decision Support, Reporting Workbench, which is now Cogito. Some of the badges is like alternatives, usability, I'll list them, I don't remember all of them. But basically, I've had a lot of experience taking these Epic exams, be it for certifications or badges. And more recently in 2019, I believe, or 2018, one of those years, but Epic started requiring that everyone who has an Epic certification retake it every 3 years. And they call them Continuing Epic Educations, or CEEs. So if you wanted to get certified in Willow, you have to take an exam. If you have to get certified in Oncology/Beacon, you have to retake that every 3 years. Just to make sure you're on top of things, you still know what you're doing. So that's what they did. My first CEE I took was sometime last year, probably over a year now, where I took my Willow one, studied for about 4 hours, passed with 100%. Easy peasy, felt pretty confident. I took my infection control one a couple of weeks ago, studied for less than 30 minutes, finished the 2-hour exam in less than 30 minutes, 98%. Also pretty easy, felt pretty confident. And then I took my Cogito one 1 week after my infection control one, studied for about 30 minutes to an hour, finished that 1.5-hour exam in 24 minutes, I got a 79%. You need 80% to pass. And it was kind of embarrassing. I remember distinctly right after I finished it, it was an Epic proctor, and they just looked at me and like, wow, you finished kind of fast. You must have done really well. And I just kind of jokingly said, oh, I hope so, or I failed, which I didn't expect. I didn't expect to. But you usually receive an email immediately, especially if you take it online. You get an email immediately letting you know how you did. And I was kind of shocked. I was like reading through it and was like, this doesn't look normal how they usually come. And I was like, oh, yep, I failed. That kind of sucks. To be honest, it's not really a big deal. Even if you fail, you can just retake the exam. An issue usually occurs if you fail the same exam 3 times. Usually, the policy is that if you fail any application exam, the same application that is, in this case, Cogito, if you fail it 3 times, usually you have to go back to Madison, Wisconsin to take in-person classes and then take the exam. That's a problem. And then if you fail it 5 times, this is not universal, not across the board. I believe it's institution specific, so please don't quote me. But what I was used to hearing back in some of the other organizations I was part of is if you fail the exam 5 times, you're actually not allowed to even work in that application anymore. You gotta think about it. If someone fails the same test 5 times, that's probably a bad sign, and they probably shouldn't work on that application. But that is definitely not a hard and fast rule. I know some organizations don't follow that, so my assumption is that it's an institution-specific thing, or maybe just an optional thing or a recommendation that Epic provides. I have no idea. But not a big deal. If you fail it once or twice, you can just retake the exam. And I'm not gonna make any excuses here for why I failed. I can come up with many excuses, but I'll say one of them. It probably wasn't the best idea that, I haven't played games in over 2 years, and I, for whatever reason, decided to re-download all my games a couple days before the exam. And the night before the exam, I was playing games until 5 a.m. in the morning. and my exam was at 9 a.m. in the morning. So I was like in the worst mental state possible to take the exam. I might just blame it on that. You know, could have got that 1% and passed, but yeah, don't do that. That's not a good idea. Don't play games until 5 a.m. in the morning. That's like what you do when you're an undergrad. Yep, so don't do that. Aside from just having good content for YouTube, there is a lesson that I want to impart here, which is probably something that I usually say all the time, is that no matter how smart or confident you think you might be, you always need to put work into things. You know, I truly don't believe that I've gotten to where I am by pure talent or intellect. I truly believe it is just putting in the work. You know, when I think back to the times I was in undergrad, in pharmacy school, in residency, or whatever position or career I was in, the common denominator has always been hard work. You know, I always make sure to put in work into what I do. And I always believe in that statement that goes where, how's that statement go again? Basically, hard work always beats talent. And I couldn't believe that more, because I feel like that's who I am. And so if there's any lesson to impart here, is just that make sure you put in work into the things you do. In any case, I did end up rescheduling the test for the week after, studied a little bit more. Definitely didn't play games. I actually stopped playing games after that, unfortunately. But I didn't play games. I got a good night's sleep. Passed the exam with 100% the next time I took it. So it was pretty good. All right, guys, so that's kind of it for this video. If you liked the video, make sure you give the video a like. If you have comments, leave a comment below. And it will make my day if you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one.